get a motion to approve today's agenda?
I'll make the motion to approve today's agenda.
I will second that motion.
Call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bullseye.
How about the minutes?
I read them for content. They looked good to me.
Okay.
So no problems with them. I'd make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
Call for a vote on the minutes.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bullseye.
Claims.
I did look through the claims.
Any
I
questions?
didn't see any questions.
I did not see anything that jumped out at me.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
I will second.
Okay, call for a vote on the claims.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bullseye.
The one claim that we have from the EMS, do we need to set that separate?
It's in there?
Yes, I thought so. I marked
I
it.
think she's reissuing that one. That was for the Walford.
Yes,
So what happened is that we sent that on the last claim run and on the EMS claim run, and then this Walford clerk stamped it back when it should have went to the Walford EMS or whatever.
okay,
So she sent that back and we just had to reissue it. So
okay,
it's just a replacement from last week's.
got it, okay. Discuss and approve out-of-state training for Monica Cox.
Yes, so in the spring, from Sunday, April 12th to Thursday, April 16th, Monica has been approved through our Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant to travel to Baltimore for the 2026 NACCHO Preparedness Summit. There's a couple other individuals from our Service Area 6 attending as well. So everything has already been pre-approved through the grant, registration, hotel, flights, everything like that, and is reimbursable. I'm just looking for approval to get those hotels and flights purchased now.
Okay,
Where'd you say it was at again?
It's in Baltimore.
You said there's grant money?
Yes, yep, it's through our Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bullseye.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Yep. In about 7 minutes. So how about reports?
Yes. I had a meeting up in Tama with Heartland Insurance. And the result of that meeting, the committee decided to, they passed this, that each county must maintain a surplus of $250,000. Currently, we're sitting at $67,000 in our surplus. They're allowing 3 years for that to be brought up to the $250,000 mark. It can be paid all at once, it can be paid as you go, however but it's, and the reason is because this is the money, the pool, anytime that there's anything, that any settlement, anything has to be done, they take the money out of the pools, and everybody is, all on board with all that. It's the reason for the pool. But when you get into the situation where you're at a negative, you've got to bring it back up to the $250,000. Once that is reached, and every county has $250,000, they're going to raise it at that point to $400,000 will be the minimum that's required in the surplus account. Hopefully we won't have any other reason to take money out of it moving on, but it's everyone agreed that it was a good idea to have that. But we also did get some. They sent an estimate of what our premiums are gonna be. And I think, I sent that to you, didn't I?
You talked about it, but you didn't really,
I didn't send that to you?
I don't think so. Look.
I thought that I had.
So is this general liability insurance, is that what that is, or it's more?
Yeah, it's a pool of 10 counties, is it? I think 10 counties.
You did send it to me on Friday.
Did I?
Yep.
I think
Full
we're
correspondence anyway.
close to, and here is a copy of, if you guys wanted it, the updated building summary of values for every building that the county has and everything that's covered under insurance policy. I've got that. I didn't make copies of it because, but if you want a copy, it lists everything in all departments. So I have that as
Tracy,
well.
you need the updated one because you didn't have the Hannenberg in yours.
Yeah, so you want me to make copies of this? Sure. Okay, I'll do that. And let me see where that is, where they have we were close to 900,000 is what our premium's gonna be for 26 and 7 is where it's at. That is the estimate at this point, but they'll know more coming up. But,
And we break that out between secondary roads and some of them too, so different funds.
Is that higher than?
yeah, it is. So, they wanted to get that number out there because they know we're going into the budgeting season and they wanted to make sure that we have an idea of what they're thinking about as far as premiums go. So, yeah, so we're knocking on the door at 900,000 in premiums is where we're at, so. It was a good meeting, we had fun. I won that cup with candy in it. And
So we got flowers.
yeah, Haley won a flower arrangement. And,
We didn't get any safety awards.
so help yourself to the candy, because I don't need it. And, yeah, so that's what I had.
They always put on a good Christmas.
Yeah, it was a good meal too.
I went to our district's supervisor meeting. ISAC and the Iowa State Association of County Supervisors put it on. The state supervisors, they put out that our legislative objectives were the eminent domain, which is coming up here on our agenda in a little bit, Medicaid funding, the Iowa Natural Resource Outdoor Recreation, and water quality, and how they want to put a tax in there for 3/8 of a cent to bring that fund up to where it's listed in the Constitution of the state. And the last one for the supervisors was property tax reform, which we all talked about. We all need something, know something needs to be done, but the county's running into a problem. If we have too much growth, it actually hurts our ability to tax on that. ISACs, their top priorities, their first one was the property tax reform, and it matched the legislature's. Their next was eminent domain. Then they went to the Medicaid funding, and then they broke the last one out, securing and protecting our water source, and then the natural resources and outdoor recreation, that's the 3/8 of a cent. And then they've got one to let people on the ICN, which is the state's fiber network, which we've basically never been allowed to use. It comes into a lot of our buildings. It goes into the sheriff's office, but we're not on it. It comes into this building. HHS is on it, but they're looking at possibly opening that up for other uses, and they say it will be much cheaper to use. And the last one is it kind of got snuck through at the end of last year on the E911 public safety interoperability, where like our E911 fund shows some cash sitting there. Well, that legislature they passed last year gives the state the ability to go in and scoop that money out of there. Where we use it, we let it build up for a project of some sort. We have never, and the reason that a lot of the smaller counties like us, that the funds build up is we don't pay anybody to take care of E911. We do it within already existing departments, like the sheriff's office does part of it, EMA does part of it, and we don't pay anybody out of 911 to do that. And the other one is the dollar surcharge on the phones, especially your landlines, where when this started, everybody had one. Well, now they're thinking maybe we should raise the money that is collected. Currently, it's $1 a line for cell phones. Well, they're talking possibly trying to get them to raise that money up to make what we're losing off the landlines. And that was that was that meeting. There were 7 state representatives or senators present at the meeting, and there were 5 on Zoom. So we had a lot of people listening to our concerns. Another one that we talked about, which we met last week, was the folks with the mental health district that we're in. And everybody's kind of in the same boat we're in. We don't know exactly how it's running, how it's going to work, but they're still working on it, moving forward.
Good question for you. That funds, the money, what kind of money are you talking about then in this fund for you that you've got?
The E911?
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't need to see a budget.
yeah,
Because that's its own levied authority, it's
Yeah.
not within our county budget. They have to do their own budget online, just like EMA and Ag Extension, those other entities. But it's all compiled in our consolidated levy rate.
Well, is there a way to go ahead and plan your projects to make sure that that money is all gone by the end of the year?
Well, that's what I'm hoping, they'll help offset some of our maintenance for the
yeah.
tower.
Hopefully we can hopefully they'll get their legislation passed, and we can use that money, let it grow from year to year to cover those expenses. Because we don't bring in near the money that it used to. And there are some bills that come out of that. There's some phone lines that get paid for the local telephone companies for the dedicated lines to go to the 911 answering points.
What was their reasoning for gonna go try to change that legislation and scoop that up and get that back? Where are they gonna put that money?
Well, they'll use it on the state level for something.
It goes into just a general fund or the E99?
It would have to go into the state
Yeah,
E911 fund.
because of how it's levied, it has to be utilized for that. Hold on here, I'm running a report for you.
Always got their fingers in it.
They have 731,000 in there right now.
We used, of course, it's built back up, but we took $500,000 out of that for the paging project that we did before the radio project, and we put in all new standalone paging system throughout the county for fire and EMS. Bruce probably knows more about this. It gave us a better rating for insurance for the different communities, where the radio communications was a standalone system from the paging system, which gave us a rating which was better, which helped people with their insurance.
Yeah, anytime you have security devices on your houses, you get a break on your premiums because If you have a central system or something of that, that makes a difference in your rates as well, yeah.
Derek, you're up.
Oh, yeah, all right, so, got the resolution all set up for accepting sealed bids for the animal shelter property. I was trying to get both properties done at the same time, but with the other property, we're kind of waiting on some other stuff to get done, and it just hasn't happened yet, and so I at least want to get it kick-started, so at least we can get the animal shelter done and going. And so, when you review like the resolution, they include like the big specific terms that we wanted to include, which was like the minimal bid threshold, 10,000, and then being a quick claim deed, and then also includes like specific terms which will be reflected in like a little sealed bid packet that will be available to the public once we get everything done and ready to rock and roll. So like that would be like, for instance, if you don't present a bid under 10,000, you won't be allowed to increase your bid at the meeting if it's revealed, you know, because you missed, it wouldn't be an acceptable bid in the first place. So you can't just throw your name in there just to be in the room and throw your hand up to raise it there. That's got to be a first threshold, which we can do. Because it's our land and we made that standard. And then I made it where public notice, it starts once public notice in the newspaper is provided. And we're just waiting so we can communicate all the terms and stuff are ready to rock and roll. And then two, I need to talk to like Ben and stuff to see if we could get a link on the website so people can download like the packet.
We know how to do that, we used to do it for watershed.
Oh, you did? Okay, so we'll just talk after.
But it's usually not less than 10, more than 20, or whatever, the 4, I guess it's not less than 4, more than, so I know that said February 6th, so we probably won't do anything until January with it.
Right. Well, as far as like the
notice in the paper, I don't have to put out yet,
oh, you notice in the paper you don't have to put out yet? Oh,
because it's not till February 6th.
right.
Because I can't go more than 20 days out.
Okay, yeah, so like, as long as we can get the terms all ready to rock and roll, and provided to the folks so they can at least see, so they can schedule times with Shelby too to go visit the property, because there's an actual building there. That's what we want to make sure to make available.
Yeah, we'll put that on the website.
Yeah, and so at least people can see the terms and stuff, and it won't be accepted and no bids will be accepted until the public notice is there through the February 6th, and then whoever shows up physically on February 10th and have an acceptable bid can increase their bid at that meeting.
So 6 is the deadline?
6th is the deadline, yep. And we just did that so there's more time for people to go out and see the property. Especially since now we got an early snowfall. So, and then two, I made sure that you guys reserve the right to reject any and all bids. That's it. Yep. Any questions?
Do you want me to list Shelby's phone number on that?
Oh, yeah, that's probably something that we could add. You guys probably see the little packet of like what the public notice would look like.
Yeah, I
when
gave
the
them
time
copies
comes.
of that, yeah.
Okay, so, and like, I can tell you like one big term is like, and I got some more information from our environmental health, because there's a septic tank on there, so we have to provide some sort of terms with like the transfer of that. And I got some more terms this morning that we can consider, and I think might be a better option too. So, any questions?
When will all this be available? I mean, the packet and everything online?
I would like to make it as soon as possible, hopefully before January, maybe by January. And then two, I can make a note too, because I'm here every week, to say, hey, we just made it live, or something like that, when we're at the unfinished business realm or something, or previous business. I can't remember that agenda.
So this resolution is setting that date and time, so.
Yep, just send that date and time, that's the important part.
Yeah.
And then to let the public know that they can go and talk to Shelby and set up times, because she has a little sign that she's gonna put out if people want to go tour.
Oh, okay.
And it's at 10:30 a.m., right?
Yeah.
It says PM, but I'll change it.
Oh, did I put 10 on?
Yeah, PM.
My bad.
That's okay. I'm looking it over. Do you care if I add the times into the resolution?
No,
Okay.
no. I think I just did on the,
On the notice.
Public notice, just
But then
'cause I
to
thought-
set it, I'll put it in the resolution
Yeah.
too, so
okay. I haven't think of that, thank you.
I'll reprint it for you guys.
So what's the number on the resolution this time?
25,100.
Here it
It'll
is.
still be that number. I'm just gonna tweak and add the times down in that, where it says the dates.
Man,
Okay.
the 100th official resolution.
Yeah.
I'll take
So
that.
far for this year.
So can I have a motion from one of you guys to start off with the resolution 25 of the real estate sale of the animal shelter?
I'll make a motion to accept the resolution 25-100 for the sale of the animal shelter.
I will second that.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
It's done. You gonna print a new one then?
Yep, with those times. I'm doing it right now.
Sign that later.
I can go grab it, where is it gonna print off to, show?
Over there.
Oh,
Do we have to turn this on?
Nope. It'll wake up when I hit it.
That usually helps.
Yep. So when I hit it, I mean I'll set my printers.
Oh, okay.
There's a hammer sitting there somewhere.
Okay, next up is Ron.
At the meeting I went to, they discussed, it deals with eminent domain and other issues that would come up, like the wind and the solar and the batteries, things that some of the utilities are working on. Another one that they talked about, which is data mining, which I don't completely understand. Derek,
data mining?
apparently it uses a lot of power, and they've been going after small cities to put it in and saying, you know, hey, your electrical supply, you know, how much they allow for that city, you know, that's right in what we could use, and that'll make your rates go better and all this. And then if they do have something come up, within that entity, they don't have the power for it. Because this data mining, I don't understand it,
Is it AI?
it's in there somehow.
It sounds like AI.
It is. But it takes a lot of power. And the ISAC has had they went through a third party and they've got some very specific amicus,
So amicus brief.
okay, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so are you talking about like the one with like Shelby County?
Yes.
And
that's
Story
exactly what it
County?
is.
So, I know like, Allers and Cooney, which is one of our insurance retains them too as well. They are asking through ISAC for like, support for an amicus brief. So back in '22, I believe is when the case first started, it's dealing with like the pipelines going through the county. So like Story County and Shelby County initiated an ordinance that discussed like specifically pipelines coming through their counties, you know, and how that would affect zoning and all that. Well, they got sued and said that essentially the supremacy clause of the Constitution, which essentially says no state law should preempt the federal law, which means like be, you know, more strict or et cetera, et cetera. And there was like 3 specific portions that they're disputing, specifically the safety standard, and the federal law essentially says that the safety laws by this federal statute preempts all state law. It's pretty broad like that, and that's what they're kind of banging off of. And so, of course, this has been litigated through that time, and the 8th Circuit just put back their opinion just this past year, and they ruled against I'll just read what this is. The 8th Circuit struck down the zoning ordinance adopted by Shelby and Story counties that imposed setbacks, abandonment, and other requirements on a proposed carbon dioxide pipeline. So now they're appealing that ruling to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court only accepts probably less than, I know it's greatly less than 10% of cases brought forth to them. And they call it writ of certiorari or whatever, is when you say, hey, please take on our case. They're in that stage. But amicus brief is essentially people from the outside that aren't directly involved with the case, but want to like help the court understand the how the importance of the case and the factors that it involves, and how this ruling could impact other counties. Now, they can consider it, they don't have to consider anything. I'll just be upfront with that. And heck, they might not even accept it, but the amicus is essentially to go in support of the writ, so the Supreme Court could accept the case, to open it up for arguments, and then to have an official ruling on that. And I know like they're arguing that they want clearer guidelines in how to rule these things, or what to consider and stuff, because it might be too broad. And so they think that could be one pathway of an argument. And there's some other ones too that I won't go into great detail, but that's what they're kind of looking at, and it would probably impact zoning ordinances for not only all of our counties, but possibly across other states as well. Because I know another big argument's like there's different rulings in different courts, and it's kind of not helpful for guidance on that. And so that's another reason they're trying to ask the Supreme Court. But anyway, so what they're trying to ask is if there could be donations, right, Ron? I don't know why I called you Don, but Ron.
They're looking for $500 from each county
to
help pay for this brief that's been read.
Yeah, and it would go to, I'm assuming, and the way I read the thing, it goes to DC attorneys,
Yes.
who probably.
The money would go back to ISAC at this point.
Yep.
Because they wrote the check out to pay for this.
What happens if they just throw this brief out then?
Oh, it wouldn't be the brief, it would probably be the writ. So the brief is, the amicus brief is only to support a position brought forth to the Supreme Court in the writ, trying to convince them that, hey, this is an important case, here's some factors to it, and give their legal analysis to it. And so like there's so many writs of, I can never say it, I hate Latin, brought forth to the Supreme Court, and they see like less than 10% of cases before then. I would say it's probably closer to like 2%. If that. That's how many of these happen. So, just to give you guys all the factors of that.
So they're asking every county, all 99,
Yes.
for $500?
And I think 44 counties have gone forth with that,
Yeah.
right, Ron?
44, 45.
So as far as Benton County is concerned, do we have, are we concerned about what they're pursuing as far as Benton County goes?
Not today.
Not today.
Could be tomorrow.
If they turn it down, then that's something where I don't know what our legislation would, if they would have to change something or whatever, or what the case may be. I don't know, but currently when it's in this appeal stage, that means like it's holding on the judgment, and because I'm trying to see if somebody else could rule on it, or a higher court could rule on it, and if they turn it down, then whatever the Eighth Circuit decided would be what's holding.
But
If that makes
our
sense.
ordinances are, right now, are pretty solid though, correct?
So I haven't had a chance to really look at it, but like, it'd be something that we have to reevaluate if this is the holding of it, just to make sure. Cause like their whole thing is like safety of whatnot, like, here's like, like the specific federal law is like a pipeline specific statute, and so like, and we don't have something in our ordinance specifically to pipelines, it's more broad,
Right.
encompassing it all, if that makes sense.
Yes,
whole deal is
we
that-
don't have to.
They're classifying this line that they want to bury as a utility.
Okay.
Me personally, this is not a utility.
Then-
It does not help anybody
No.
in that area. Gas line does, electricity does,
Mm-hmm.
that's a utility. And to me, they're slipping this in the wrong way, it's wrong. And
So
it's not
that's-
a utility. I mean, they tried originally here 4 years ago, 5 years ago
I
down at
remember
Walton.
talking about that, yeah.
Right, yes, I remember that.
And that's got, I went to the meetings and argued with them, and it's not in Benton County.
Okay.
So, and I think, as far as I know, the whole project, what they were gonna do in that area, Johnson County and Iowa County were gonna get dumped on it. I think it all got dropped.
Whole thing did.
Did Ron, did any of the other counties jump on board, did they say?
Blackhawk was there and they said they donated 1,000.
And based off that email, it looked like, just in our immediate area, Lynn and Johnson looked like they donated.
They have bigger pots. to
what's
pay
that?
out of. They have more money to.
I
pay.
know. Let me see if I got that email pulled up, so I can kind of tell you all the counties in our
Yeah,
area.
that- You guys got the original email too?
Tama joined, I think Washington County, Cedar, Blackhawk, Grundy, Butler, Bremer.
Page County for sure, because they,
Yeah.
that was their article they
Yeah.
included.
But as far as like size wise and all that, that kind of gives you an idea of like the kind of counties that have already, in our area, that have donated to it.
My feelings is, I'm not saying no, but I'm just saying not at this time. I'm not willing to give them the 500.
Yeah, I don't know that, like I said, we've got pretty much everything in place that we need right now. And like you said, maybe it's something we need to look at a later time.
Yes.
Years ago, Mark Greenlee, when he was still alive, he presented a resolution that we looked at. Do you remember that? It was in addition to that.
Mhm.
I might still have that, but I don't know if it's, it would hold up or not. If it's
Probably
legislation, I don't
not,
think it
because like
would.
I said, when they classify it as a utility,
Right. If we don't have,
And
you can't stop it.
and I think specifically this is a CO2 line
Yes.
that they're,
There's really no,
and.
they're changing the way everything's being taxed too right now with our gas and electric,
Yeah.
through our valuation system too.
Right, and the thing too is like, Shelby and Story County specifically had something in their zoning ordinance talking about pipelines.
and that's where they got in trouble.
That's where they got in trouble, because they specifically, now like I said, I don't know how it would impact everybody else's ordinances and stuff. It's a 32-page opinion. I haven't dove in, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't dove in it too hard, because I got other things to fry, you know, right now.
Is that where didn't Tama County get in some trouble because of that windmills and stuff as well? Where they had it, they okayed it, and then the new board said, no, we don't want this?
They
Is there-
finally settled it.
They did settle it.
Did Iowa
Okay.
County did have some too?
Not as bad as Tate
They
County.
did too, yeah.
Well, right now, I don't see a need to spend any money.
I'm of the same opinion as Tracy, that the eminent domain is pretty clear. If they just follow what's there, there's no need for any of this argument. Because it is not for public use.
Okay. We done?
Yep.
There's no need for it, so, or no actual need, so.
Okay.
You're up.
Okay, good morning. Thanks for having us. We're here on behalf of the Middle Cedar WMA. I'm Alyssa Comer with ECOG, and we have Mary Beth and Paola, who I will let introduce themselves. But just to start, thank you for having us, and thank you so much for your fiscal year 26 contribution. I'm handing out a 25 report. Does anyone else want one? I have extras.
I'll
Okay.
take one.
Yeah. And we are just here this morning to give kind of an update on what we've been up to as you plan for fiscal year 27 budgeting. So I'll let you give an update if you would like to.
Yeah, sounds good. So I think I have probably met all of you or most of you before, but I'm Mary Beth Stevenson, and I work for the City of Cedar Rapids, and I'm the chair of the Middle Cedar Watershed Management Authority. First off, just want to thank you guys for your FY26 contribution. Really appreciate that. And also just want to thank you for considering another contribution for FY27. So just to kind of share a little bit about what we've been up to, you have a really great report in front of you that Alyssa put together. But I just wanted to hit on two other kind of high notes, so you guys have a sense of what we're doing with your contributions. So first and foremost, we're going to be hearing from Paola here in a few minutes. Paola was hired by the Blackhawk Soil and Water Conservation District in a partnership with the Middle Cedar WMA. We are contributing a portion of funds to her to her project, and this was through a grant that we got last year from Iowa DNR. And the purpose of that grant, and she will introduce her project in a little bit more detail, but really just to hold some listening sessions around the Middle Cedar watershed, looking at how we can better understand and meet the needs of more small-scale growers. Because right now, a lot of our conservation programs are geared more towards the bigger, like row crop corn and soybean farmers. So we just want to make sure we're also meeting the needs of the smaller scale farmers, like fruits and vegetables and agroforestry and stuff like that. So Paola is going to be doing listening sessions throughout the watershed and is looking for contacts of people who might be good from the small scale agriculture side of things. So if you guys know of anyone, I'm sure Paola would love to hear your input on that. So I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'll turn it over to Paola to introduce herself. The other thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that we did get another grant, and I passed around kind of an overview of the project. It's called Growing Resilience in the Middle Cedar Watershed, and it is a farmer-to-farmer grant. Actually, it's a federal grant, so we're really excited to get that. It should be kicking off in January or February. The Middle Cedar Watershed will be hiring a watershed coordinator. So you guys probably remember, at least some of you, remember Adam Rodenberg. This person, the City of Cedar Rapids is actually going to hire the person this time, just based on logistics and all of that. So we'll hire kind of all the admin for that. But you'll definitely be hearing from that person. They'll probably be hired later this winter, once the funding comes through. But your contributions to the WMA definitely have helped make that possible. The farmer-to-farmer grant, we're going to be doing field days with farmers. We're going to be doing oxbow restoration projects, and we're going to be doing other like water quality improvement projects. So for sure, we'll make sure the coordinator is in touch with you guys and just keeping you guys in the loop on what we have going on. So that's kind of it at a high level. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. If you have any questions for me, otherwise I will let Paola introduce herself. And Haley, I can send you the electronic version of this handout too if you wanted to include it. So, yeah, any questions on the project so far? Or? Okay, all right, Paola.
Yeah, I sure can.
Thank you.
Oh,
Glad to get to meet you.
Okay, so, my name is Paula Trujillo, and I work, as Mary Beth said, for Blaha County for Soil and Water Conservation District. And this is a new project we are working on, and this is farming or urban and small scale technical assistance. So the idea of this project is to support small scale growers in the urban area, urban gardeners, and the surrounding area for the town. So we are planning to, this is a 3 years grant, and we are starting for the 2nd year now, and we are using the 2026 to holding listening sections across the Middle Cedar watershed, so that includes 10 counties. So yeah, the idea is to work with the market growers, people that are looking for sell fruits and vegetables at the farmers market, beginners farmers, so urban gardeners, people that is looking for grow up fruits and vegetables using their own backyard or maybe at the rent a plot in the community gardens, and gardeners advanced, so people that right now are doing that, but maybe they need a little more technical assistance, cold shares. And so the idea is with these listening sections is to understand what they need, what are their priorities, and how we can support them. Because we find that in the past, Blaha County hold a similar project, and they find that small scale growers face a lot of challenges when they try to access for resources from the USDA or NRCS. So the idea with these listening sections is to learn from them what they need, and then make a final report and show it to DNR and USDA and say, hey, this community, this is their needs for the community. They need this one, they need this kind of support. And we can working around that to share with them or offer them in the best way, better technical assistance or better resources that they need. So yeah, this is the big picture, this is the idea of the project.
Great. Any questions for either one of us?
None here.
Okay, great. Well, we just wanted to give you a heads up on what we've been up to, and
Just to input here, I'll be working with these guys until I retire, obviously, but we're working to try to get the connections with the small and medium-sized garden producers. We specifically, Old School, will be working directly with them because we face some of the same challenges as in USDA information. Luckily, I have contacts, so it usually wasn't a big hurdle, but sometimes it's a big hurdle for some of the lower, or the entrepreneurs trying to get into that situation. So I'm going to be involved directly with that, and that's why I'm here to support what they're doing too. But I also really kind of wanted to comment, I think they're doing really great work with the Middle Cedar Watershed Project. I'm not always able to attend, but I like the fact that we're having a huge group all the way from Minnesota all the way to, what, is it Cedar, where's the?
down in Louisa County.
Louisa County, all of that runs, and they meet, well, I think yearly, right, to talk as a whole group. And it's nice to see the coordinations going on. I've not seen any statistics on how much land and things have been changed, but the movement is there, and I think we're really working hard more than anything to help bring down the nitrate levels in the Cedar. And that's the biggest goal, and I have a passion for it because Iowa State, when Secretary Ag Northey was involved, that was the initiative that they put out, and we're still really pursuing that as far as extension goes too, just to give you kind of a round picture of here what they're going to do. But this would be an awesome project for really smaller and individual or medium-sized garden people or other people. So she's right, if you know of anybody, get hold of me, because we're going to try to put at least a couple meetings together to voice their concerns. And so I've got a list of people that a friend of mine has kicked out to people she knows, and I'm hoping that will at least get some kind of a meeting started. So anyway, enough said on that.
Thank you. Cool. Well, that kind of gives you a sense of what we're up to. Again, really appreciate your considering a contribution for FY27. If you have any questions or need more information, please don't hesitate to reach out. Alyssa will let you know, and yeah, so thanks, everyone. We're probably gonna take off here, not to disturb your meeting, but we'll let you get back to it.
Yeah, you can find my information here if you know anybody or you have more questions, so don't hesitate to pick me up. Thank you.
Thanks.
Do any of you want, I'm gonna leave 4 calendars here, like this size. Any of you want one, you're more than welcome to take it. I will put one back up here later, but I won't do that while you're having a meeting, so. What's that? These girls are gonna take me out for lunch, I heard. Strike that from the public record.
That's right.
Sorry, guys, Merry Christmas.
See ya. Merry Christmas. I wanted to say.
So now we're gonna hear from the Riverview Center.
Just in time.
Perfect.
You guys have these in your binders.
My first time
You
here.
have both of those requests in the binders.
Oh, and the binders?
Yep.
Okay.
Forget your, you take it back last time.
Up there.
You put it in there?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
What's those big binders?
I was just gonna say,
Budget binders.
I was gonna say, those are small budget binders, aren't they?
You organize those?
Yeah.
Good job.
They're towards the back on non-departmental requests.
All listed by group. Like to tell you I did it myself.
We already heard differently, so. So, good morning. My name is Paige. I'm here with my colleague Satirica from Riverview Center, and we're here to talk to you a little bit about our budget request for this next year, and to talk about what we do and answer any questions you might have. So Riverview Center is a nonprofit that focuses on assisting survivors of sexual violence, and we do this in many ways. We assist directly with survivors, but we also have education and preventative programs, awareness programs. We work with a lot of local nonprofits in the community to provide resources to survivors. So we partner with a lot of different other community resources. Our services are survivor-led. I shouldn't just say we partner with nonprofits. We also partner with like the schools. Through our SART program, which is an acronym for Sexual Assault Response Team. We also have nurses that are specifically trained to help at the hospitals if we do have a reported rape. And we work with law enforcement through that group as well. So we have a very active SART team here in Benton County. So we work with every law enforcement group in the county. We provide preventative services through education and awareness. We work with schools. I work on, I would say that Satirica is here quite a bit. She is the advocate that serves this area, and so she's here quite a bit and can probably answer questions better than I can. But we do, we are really proud to be survivor-led, and what that means is that we let survivors determine how they want our assistance and how we can help, and we can be there from the time that they have a rape, that they are at the hospital and through their whole procedure, and assisting with the legal system, and being there with them in court. And in Iowa, we are allowed to be there throughout the entire process, which is very nice for our state. And we can help them file like restraining orders, we can help them with paperwork. We can also, in their healing journey, we can provide counseling and therapy services, group therapy, and we connect them with a lot of community resources, because a lot of times survivors are not, especially at the beginning, or when they are triggered by something, getting through a day is hard sometimes. And so connecting them with local resources can be really important. And they may not remember that certain services are there. And so us being connected to all of those local resources is extremely important for us. We know that that there are many more survivors out there that don't come forward to our services. We also, we're not just available for those who are raped, that report at the hospital and come to the hospital or report to law enforcement, but we can be there for those who, it happened 30 years ago, and they come forward and say, I think I need some help. I think I need to talk to somebody about what happened to me. So we don't have any timelines of how we work with survivors. We let them determine what that looks like. And so for some, it is longer, and for some, it is, much faster, but they may come back to us in 10 years, and just for a recheck, just want to talk a little bit about what's going on in their world. So we will be there for whatever they need. Our survivors that we have served in Benton County, we have seen ages from very young to 80 years old. So we don't have it. We of all genders, and we don't have any restrictions on any of that. So I'll let Satira talk a little bit about what that looks like.
Yeah. So out of my 5 work days a week, I am in Benton twice a week. That looks like I'm at a high school, and I didn't realize how big Benton was. I go from the high school all the way to Shelbyville, and I'm like, this is a kind of long drive. So I have currently 15 children from ages, youngest is 8 to, he just turned 18, so 8 to 18. And then I see 6 adults, so I am here quite a bit. It's like a rotating little room that I have in high schools. They just kind of come out, and then I go to middle schools, elementary schools, and they just kind of rotate out. I try to find games for the kids to play, just for them to talk through it. If they're in the middle of a trial and they don't want to, have to do their impact statement, I have read a couple of those. Those are near and dear to my heart. So I'm here and willing to help and see, sexual assault is a thing. It's a hard topic to talk about. Most people don't want to talk about it. So having an 8-year-old come and tell me, hey, this just happened, and then walking with them from the hospital when they have done the same kit, and then going to CPS and going from there, it's a long journey, and I still work with, let's see, my oldest client is 43, so sexual assault is a thing, and it's just hard for people to talk about.
Yeah, we always say that we're the organization you don't really want to know about, but you'll be glad we're there if you know somebody that needs our services. Do you have any questions?
The adults, where do you meet with them?
Where do I meet with them at?
Yeah.
So we go to the library, they either come to our office, or I go to their home, so it just depends on wherever they want to meet at.
Okay, because I know the kid you meet at school, of course.
Yep.
Okay.
But, sometimes, especially in rural communities, there are a lot of times that people are reluctant to meet in their towns, in their own town. They don't want to be seen with, not that we wear big badges or anything, but, they may meet us in the next town over or at the coffee shop or, so we really, again, we're survivor-led, so we let them determine where they want to see us.
Okay.
Any other questions?
It's too bad that you have to do this.
That we have to exist, right?
That's
Yeah.
too bad, yeah.
And that, I think that goes into our education and preventive services, especially, I think it's even more important today with social media being what it is, especially in schools and stuff, and we've seen some of that in Iowa, and, being able to say to kids, be careful what you share, And sexual violence can appear in different ways on social media. You know, we've seen some of that in Iowa already, and, you know, trying to talk to students about that, and counselors, and, you know, school counselors and teachers too.
I mean, even when I go to the schools and I tell them, I ask the kids, I say, do you guys have the changes? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, when you're playing Fortnite or you're playing Roblox, do you know you're talking? And they're like, no. I'm like, those are those are strangers. So even high schoolers still don't know that they're talking to strangers. And I'm like, that's a stranger. You don't know that person. So, yeah.
I'm glad I didn't grow up with that sort of thing.
I know, me too. Sorry, I'm showing my age here.
No.
Yeah, me too. I always say I'm glad there's not a record too, so. But it's just one more thing that kids have to worry about.
Yeah.
And the adults have to worry about with their kids.
Even worse with the AI that's coming out, so, yeah.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
That is scary.
It is.
Okay, well, thanks.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank
Thanks
you.
for what you do.
Thank you.
The request was the same as last year's, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Once they get it formally approved, I'll send that back to you guys.
Thank you so much.
I'm feeling this is gonna be full by the time we're done.
Oh, it will. I'll make sure of that.
Very good.
Yeah, I've still got last year's at home, and
But like I was talking to Tracy earlier, I know some departments are already starting to submit. So with us knowing our health insurance, we need to get that squared off with the actuarial stuff, once we get that from insured partners. But another big part of the numbers coming in will be the wages.
Okay.
So if you guys had any guidance to give department heads before they submit to me, that would be great. Otherwise it's
Just
gonna
we can
be,
talk about that now, what everybody's feeling is.
yeah, because I have budget work on here, but.
We had the comp board more or less volunteer or give their 2 cents into zero raises. And I guess I sat in at that meeting and I'm leaning that way,
Yes.
zero.
Until we get a handle on where we're at. And I know this is,
Especially
when I had my own company, I was reluctant to give raises. I was more into a little bonus, because you're not stuck with that forever. Where you have a raise, if you don't know where you're at and you allow a raise, you're stuck with that. And that scares me a little bit, because we're kind of treading water here as far as
Right.
what we
Can't get
got.
bonuses in the government,
I'd hate to get behind that 8 ball.
but I
So, yeah.
think if you would give some guidance so they know when they're doing their figuring and giving it back, because it affects their FICA, Medicare, and IPERS rates and all that, so.
Yeah,
I guess I just said my feelings, I'm planning on zero.
Yeah, I'm going with you on that.
Obviously, the unions are gonna be set with theirs, but.
Right.
Well, yes and no. I want to talk with Derek. We discussed this a little bit before. I'm hoping Derek would draft a letter for us, that we would sign it to the 2 unions, and ask for them not to honor their contract this year with a pay raise. Which, I mean, they can tell me to go fish, I get it, but I just thought, we bent over backwards here a few years ago and give them a 10%, a 7% raise that was not in their contract.
So draft a letter to our 2 unions to not honor the salary increases.
Right, according to the contract of this year. But that's my feeling on the 2. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's a contract's a contract.
they say no, we have to honor it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
We just
think
need to
that's a
pump the
very good
brakes.
idea. I would like, because I know we've got some big expense coming. We're gonna need to put some money in the insurance fund. We've got these requests, we've got another big payment we're gonna have to make on our radio system. I think it would help me get a handle on it if we said, okay, this was our total county budget for last year, and this is how much money we have to work with. So we can stay within that and not get behind the 8 ball to start with.
So let everybody know right up front, this is
What you're gonna have.
This is it.
Did you guys get invited to, will you go to that E911 budget meeting? Because it's usually in January, but I know theirs has to be done sooner than ours. And, talk to them about that payment, maybe even half and half or something. Especially since we know their fund balance. If that is a concern.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know if they have any, it used to be they would put and say, okay, we'll give X amount to each department a year for new equipment.
But since we provided that equipment
Since
to
we
all
provided it
entities,
all,
I mean, wouldn't that be,
I don't know if they're going forward with that program anymore.
and even to help split it down the middle would be a great savings for us.
And there was certain things like it couldn't buy, it would buy equipment, but it wouldn't buy you batteries for replacement on old equipment, which we shouldn't have yet. Everything should still be in the new phase.
Because I think even next week, we have a few more entities coming forward, like the libraries and stuff, I think. They're all, like these that aren't our departments, they're all coming forward ahead of time, so.
Well, there's so many things that we can't control that's gonna go up. And so the things that we can, we have to look at really tight. It's out of our hands. For instance, if, we're at 69,000 in our surplus. If something happens and we go below that, we have to bring it back to zero immediately.
We need
So
that reserve.
So that's a concern when, that's why they want to have the $250,000 cushion. So if for some reason it happened and we go 100,000 in the hole, we have to bring it back up to zero right away. So that's got to come from somewhere.
And that's paid out of general supplemental, which,
Right.
as we know, doesn't have a cap, but still, you
Yeah.
can't levy unless we're at the max on general basic.
I just think we need here's what we can afford, folks.
Well, like secondary roads, this is gonna be, it was too early, my opinion, for winter, what we're used to. You know, and just going over the bills today, that we okayed, I mean, Myron spent $12,000 just for salt alone. And we're just starting winter.
And that, like you said,
That's
those are
salt.
the expenses
That's not
that
sand,
we can't control.
that's not overtime, because, those first 2 snowstorms on the weekends. And it's overtime. And the guys, to me, they've been doing a good job.
The county
Excellent.
looks good, in
Yes,
my opinion.
yes, I've been happy with all them guys. And I feel sorry for them that the weekend they gotta work.
And that is big money for the county to throw everybody out on the weekend and do that.
Yeah, time and a half. So. I guess one thing that Haley I'd like to see how everybody is coming so far on their budgets, percentage-wise.
Well, that's just it, I've sent them out their sheets to start working on, but I want to give them more guidance as far as what your thoughts are, or what our insurance premiums, that kind of stuff.
We'll see like that.
Or if you're gonna say, keep it the same bottom dollars last year, or, I mean,
Yeah, the health insurance, that should stay the same, correct?
Well, we're partially
What-
self-funded, so depending on what you guys still want to participate in for that
Yeah.
buy-down, for the deductibles and stuff.
Because the information that they sent me so far, it's kind of like it's even.
Correct.
Since we all
But what I've
won
done
away from
now,
participating with the good stuff.
I send them our fund balance for our insurance fund, and then they look at that to see where we are, you know, versus how many of them reached their deductible, how many didn't, what's our risk in there.
And that gentleman should be coming sometime here in December towards
Well,
Christmas,
I
maybe.
would hope, because I know he took the figures. And another thing, with ISAC closing the unemployment pool, we were in a pool with ISAC for unemployment with probably, I think there was 24 counties, that they're doing away with that, so we're gonna have to create our own fund, similar to our insurance fund. And they're gonna reimburse us back a portion of that, what we had in that pool, to go off of, but we have to decide what we're gonna put into that every year. And risk, you know, paying those claims as we go type of thing, but we still have to have money in there in case we get those claims for unemployment.
I think we
That's
need,
gonna be new this year, how we're handling it.
I think we need to take a serious look at doing something with the heating and cooling in the sheriff's office. Those bills are just crazy what it costs a month down there.
With the geothermal,
Yeah.
I thought that was supposed to save us money.
You've never been able to convince me of that.
Rick at maintenance was gonna look at that, which I haven't pushed the issue, like I said, snow hit. I mean,
Usually
I
that comes
dump
out of
enough
maintenance.
stuff on him now.
Yeah.
With the padlock or the locks for the food pantry and, you know, I don't have time to help him like I did here in the past, but,
But that usually comes out of our maintenance budget, not the sheriff's, doesn't it?
no, it comes out of sheriff.
But I mean, if we do like big projects on stuff. It'd be
Yeah,
under
that still come out of the sheriff's budget.
Yeah, I'm thinking we need to,
Because that building should be tucked pointed and sealed.
We
And
probably should
then
start-
since it's been built,
Start putting away some committed funds for that.
yes.
we need to put some money away for that, and that's gonna take from someplace else,
Yeah,
and that's gonna be fairly expensive. Yeah, I'm not convinced that the system that was put in down there has ever worked real well.
Does that just be by design, or is there a problem?
Possibly.
It could be either one, huh?
I had an energy audit done of the building years ago, and at that time, they said for every $3 we spent, or every dollar we spent, saved 3. Well, if you just do the math there, the electrical costs would have been $18,000 a month most of the time, instead of 6. And I just can't believe that that's the way it's supposed to work. But it's always worked that way in that building.
but as for income, it should be about the same or a little bit less, for the county, for the tax.
I'm not fully done with the valuation report, but there's some growth in there. so.
There is some growth, so there is a little bit more coming in.
Did we
But I'm
get,
just working on the tips from the cities and stuff, 'cause
okay. Did we have enough growth that it's gonna take our end number down?
I won't know
No,
until I really
I
hard
doubt
to
it.
Because again, if we're over that
Bill
2%,
Blaine's got
we're
a
gonna be,
Tip down there, right?
yep, they got a new
Yeah,
one, Shelburne's got a
Atkins.
new one right now.
Yep, Atkins.
They are asking for more this year, so I'm going through all that right now, back and forth with the
Okay.
clerks. So,
Okay,
yeah, I have till January 1 for the valuation report to be done.
Okay.
But yeah, but if we have above 2%, we're gonna be held, our general basic's gonna have to be held at that
We have to
level
trim
again.
that
Or they
back.
might even have to trim it a little more, I don't know yet, depending on what it shows. So, but we have room in general supplemental to increase, which we're gonna have to for our insurance.
Mhm. I was actually afraid that the insurance was gonna come in over $1 million. So, I mean, we're knocking on the door, basically. So I was a little happy that it came in as what it did, but I think some of these things we're putting in place, if we can hold back on, because the driving factor in that was lawsuits and workman's comp. Those are the two things that killed it.
And that's hurting us right now, workman's comp for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're taking the strong approach on the safety.
Right. So spending a little money up front like that is hopefully gonna take care of us in the back end.
All right. Different issue. I had Easy Cog last week. Pretty quiet down there. Like I said, they're kind of gearing up for looking for somebody new to run it.
Mm-hmm.
Conservation last night. They kind of went over their budget last night. Didn't okay it, of course, but they went over the numbers and everything. They were looking for some guidance, and I did not give them any last night. I was quiet. You know, I'm the only one here. There's three of us, so.
I know Shelby and I and Derek are discussing a fund for them, special fund for
Yes.
donations and stuff.
And I'm all for that.
Yeah, it's a reserve fund.
Yes.
Which I know other counties have done, like
Okay.
specifically like Buchanan.
That's who she gave me some
Yeah.
examples.
And it's, sorry, go ahead, Tracy.
Well, what it is, basically, it's when they get a grant or something. You remember how she always gets a grant, and then she's gotta come in here and ask spending authority. Now, this special account will be the reserve account, where the grant will come in, go in that account, and she can spend it on that reserve. She won't have to come in here again for spending authority.
Okay.
And that causes us to do a budget amendment.
Yes,
Yep.
correct.
Yeah, once we budget for that account in there, and I don't know the ins and outs for sure, because it'll be like still negative at first, because she's spending before we get all that in place within our budget.
I think it's just one of those things where you have to approve, create a line item.
Yeah.
And then there's
And I
a
still have to
specific
show it in the
statute
budget
that
under other funds.
dictates how the spending and stuff goes in there, and then the amounts and all that, and I think Shelby has a pretty good grasp of
Yeah.
that, and I
Yeah.
know she shared that with,
The code sections
Yeah.
and stuff.
'Cause I think if we would have set something up, to put some money in for the sheriff's building itself, because it needs tuck pointed, it needs sealed. I really think we need to look at the heating and cooling.
I think you need to get a lump sum amount. I mean, if we're talking
Yeah,
$1 million or something, are you gonna do like general obligation debt or geo bonds?
I think some of it could be done
If you just,
over time.
How long, how many years is that we're gonna pay on the,
10, maintenance agreement?
yeah, I know the maintenance agreement, we can't get out of that. I'm talking about the loan that we took out
Oh,
for,
for a general obligation debt that
was
we
that
have.
5 year or
It
3
was
year?
7, I think.
7 year?
Yeah, so we're down to, I can look at the payment schedule. So we're in year 3,
We
paying
gotta,
it.
we gotta
So
make sure
there's
to
4
put
or
that
5 more
money
years
aside.
left, plus the maintenance.
Well, that comes out monthly.
That's,
Okay.
we levy that under debt
Yes.
service,
Okay,
but
Yeah,
that had to been specific.
like I said, the only thing we were smart on that whole deal is we locked the interest in the sheet.
1% or something,
Yeah.
1.2.
yeah.
Right
But
now.
look how much that project come in over budget too,
Yeah,
which thankfully we used ARPA, to even over the 2 million, so.
These repairs to the sheriff's office, if we have a reserve type of a fund, and get it built up before you can do it, how much is it, the cost of the project gonna go up while we're saving money? I mean, we have to put money aside because we can't just grab it out of the.
yeah.
Well, I think
But-
with the way the building is sectioned off, we could like do the jail as one shot and then the administration as another. At least split it in half.
So
Have
work
you
on it in
talked to-
sections.
Dave on
So
that at
we're
all?
gonna-
Like the tuck pointing, you know,
We're gonna need to bring Dave
I was gonna say,
in.
you need
they
to
end
talk
up
to Dave a
using,
little
if you've
bit
been
too.
walking around there on the south side, they used the old limestone rock.
Cause that'll put people in the back end.
From the old, which wasn't that old, the old building that they tore down from the flood.
Right.
And for some reason now, that limestone rock, and I'm not, I don't know if it's limestone, but whatever rock that is, the white one, it's breaking down. It's breaking down. When I patched some of the sidewalks here, well, the front step this summer, I end up tuck pointing some of that, just regular cement around some of the bad spots that will hold right into it. You know, and I'm no tuck pointer. But I mean, that's something that needs to be done, and there again, what should be done that should actually be taken off and new brick or
Right, put something.
some kind of new
face.
facing on there, because it's breaking down.
Yeah, that,
You know, it was a good idea at the time, thinking that you're recycling, you're using new stuff, but who knew?
Yeah,
that wall that reaches the rock on the inside is black, so then that comes out and reaches into that retaining wall around the building. They tell me that's the black that comes through it.
I don't know, like I said, it needs some work. One of the things, like the courthouse itself, it has when we have a year that's a wet summer, wet spring, it's got leaks in the basement where the water runs.
well, also
Comes in.
talking about the caps on the top,
Yeah,
covering all
and see,
those.
that never,
Yeah,
he never come back to finish that yet.
And then yesterday I got that call from that
Yep,
ground, so
yep,
you
yep,
might be
don't
calling in here
even
too.
go there.
Just warning you, you might be
Don't
calling.
even go
Radio
there.
frequency guy.
It's whatever you want to do in our basement.
And to me, like I said, the courthouse, what should be done, it should be a tile put around it with rock filled in that trench to, don't even let the water get in there, but,
Just get it away.
to me, you got sidewalks and steps, everything's concrete to the south, concrete to the north, concrete to the west.
right.
You're talking major money to tear that all up.
Mhm.
Talking on the east side there where we have issues,
Yes,
because then we've talked about putting a sidewalk there to the parked cars on that side too.
yeah, and it's hard to get anything done when you're trying to save money and cut back, and we're not gonna have the funds to work with.
And these things don't go away, they just keep getting worse.
No,
It's all just a radio frequency away.
Okay, then you get to talk to him.
what's that?
I told you.
No. That'd be a short conversation.
Well, I think that's it then for today.
Yeah, so did you guys want to draft a letter to the department heads?
We
Or,
probably could, I guess.
because I know everybody's starting on pension
Budget.
numbers and I haven't given them a deadline, but I usually like it back end of the month. So
Because
that I
that's
can-
for again, I'm speaking of just what I know. I'm leaning on 0 raises, and as for their budget, until I know what the county bringing in,
Yeah, I'll try to get that done as soon as
Yeah.
possible, obviously. but-
otherwise it's gonna have to be staying the same, because I know last year we said 2.5%, what I call the services. We got a raise last year, and we never touched the health insurance, the dental, and all that stuff, and the
That you
wages.
passed on.
We did not touch that 2.5, did not come off of that. It come off what I call the services. So if we could just keep it as is for right now, from what I know, until we can see the numbers from you.
I think that's a good starting point.
I mean, if the way it looks, it's gonna be
Well,
money,
until we start putting in the figures, like what you want to put
yeah,
in for
money
insurance.
collected down, is down this coming year, well, then we'll have to look at the main budget again and do another.
Because Bruce said, what, we have 3 years to get that threshold up?
Right, to get back
So,
up to
like,
250,000.
are you gonna divide that up? Plus that's in addition to what we already owe for our insurance premium.
Yeah, that's on top.
So, you want
That's
me to
assuming
just
that.
plug in those
no
numbers?
other-
Assuming everything goes with no hitches.
Yeah, that's, we're crossing our fingers.
What is the figure that is recommended to you that we have?
Like 30% on down
30%.
reserves.
Well, we do have a
We do,
We do
right,
have a
but
good
again, you
reserve.
look at what we've been showing, we've always showed more expenses than revenues the last
Right.
few years. Granted, we haven't, the AFR, which is done, and I'll send you
But
guys
like I
that.
said, the one thing I'm curious about is how departments are working on their budget. Are they conserving, you know,
Well, and
doing
you'll
a
see
good
that when
job?
I print those budget worksheets for you,
Mm-hmm,
that I cut it off in December, so it's gonna be a 6-month point.
right.
So your year-to-date totals are 6
Will be
months.
half the year.
So when you look at those columns, you'll
That would be
see
very
it.
helpful.
Mhm.
I mean, other than the budget amendments that I've done, but those will come in as the re-estimated column with those amendment amounts.
Well, the department heads know that we've been talking about this for a long time, so it's not a surprise to
Correct.
anyone. But if we do formulate a letter, then, you know, that just makes it official. But everybody's aware of the situation, so.
I have a question on that insurance, that you have 10 counties involved in it. Is that shared equally amongst all 10, all the counties, or is that split up according to your usage?
No, it's all spread out,
Okay.
yeah.
I was just curious if that had an effect on what the premiums are gonna be or what you're gonna have.
And one of the things is, and the discussion was up there, was that every single county or the representatives, the people that are on board, everybody's willing to kick in to help out another county, you know, that's why they have the pool. So everybody's on board with, you know, what it's gonna take to bring this up, because right now Benton County's at the top of the list. And we don't want to be on the top of the list, but every other county knows that it could happen to them, just like that.
You can do that, yeah.
Yeah,
I get
everybody's-
that. I just was curious how they did that and how
Yeah.
it was figured.
Yeah, right now, it's our turn in the fishbowl. I'll get copies of this, guys. Do you want me to email it to you, or do you want me to
That's
just?
fine, email it, I'll print it off
Email's
myself.
fine.
Well, I'll just scan it then and
Yep.
email it to you. Okay.
All
You
right.
can scan that one to me, because I got the other one. I got the,
Yeah, this one I didn't, because I just,
Yep.
I wanted to get that other stuff to you so you have it.
that'll help me put the numbers in the budget too.
Yeah. I mean, it breaks it down to, cost,
So do you think I should just divide that 250 into 3 and plug in the number on top of that?
I think that would be a good idea. Gives us a start point, and if for some reason we have a certain, then we can
Then
always.
we're already going
you know,
towards
We can
the
always
400.
kick in.
Do like a budget amendment or
Right,
something, right?
Yep, we can always, if that ever happens, which, you know, the chances of that, but it's there.
And I know, Tracy, you mentioned about the secondary roads thing. How much in years past, when we haven't had big issues with the surplus that money that was put aside, set aside, does that roll over into the next year, or how does that work?
Yes,
Okay,
correct,
I was just curious.
correct.
Yes, Iowa's budget
Okay.
does.
No, I was just curious if that's the way it went, because it costs that for a year like we're gonna have now.
Yeah.
Because we got another one coming.
Yeah, I know.
They said we got another one coming
Tonight.
tomorrow. Yeah, tonight, tomorrow.
Yeah,
Snow too on top of the wind?
Yeah, it's gonna be blizzard stuff.
yeah.
That's what they're saying.
That's
So we get to the grocery store. Right,
Tonight,
yeah.
6 o'clock, it's gonna rain.
And then it's gonna
It's gonna rain
change.
and
We're in the last county in the bottom that's in the
40,
in the crack.
some mile an hour wind, so
Yeah.
it'll rip the snow back loose and
I vote no.
Wouldn't it be nice if it was any?
That would be nice.
I'm a strong no on
You
that.
get on that weatherman.
That's strong, no.
Well, I'm almost counting on the school being canceled, so. Do we need a motion?
yes, we do.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Call for a vote.
Aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bulls eye.
We're done.
Yeah, that's unanimous.